Okay, great. Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026, and welcome to today's meeting of the Public Outreach and Technology Committee for the California Fair Political Practices Commission. Ms. Yang, will you please take roll?
All right, Commissioner Wilson,
Here.
Chair Silver.
Excellent. Let's move on to item number one, and that's going to be public comment for items not on today's agenda. Do we have any public comment? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'm going to move on to item number two, which is approval of the April 2025 minutes for the committee. Do we have any public comment on that item? Any edits, suggestions, Commissioner?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Before we move on from that, just really want to quickly thank all the folks that came to that meeting. We had James O'Brien, a professor at Berkeley, who's an expert in AI. We also had Adobe join us and another company called Hive AI, and we got feedback from Google as well on the topic of that meeting, which was detecting AI in campaign ads, which is a really tricky topic. If there's other jurisdictions who are looking into that issue, considering disclaimer requirements for AI, I'd strongly recommend reviewing that meeting, and please feel free to reach out to us and we can share some of the insight from that meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and move to approve those minutes.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Chair Silver.
Aye. Okay, let's move.
Chair.
Go ahead.
Quick question is more if it's feasible, might be helpful when the summary of this meeting is posted to also include the link to the April 2025 meeting, if that doesn't pose too much of a challenge for the IT operation.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, and we're going to talk about on the next item how much easier it's going to be for folks to be able to find that sort of information with our new search feature, which is I'd say something that started with you, Commissioner Wilson, when you pointed out how our previous search function worked, how important it is to the regulated community that we have something that can help them identify exactly what they're looking for. So before we move on to that, thank you to you for kind of being the starter for this project.
Well, thank you, Chair, but it was a collaborative effort that included the input and hard work of not only you, but the entire FPPC team. So thank you.
Of course. Okay, so without further ado, item number three, launch of the new FPPC website. We're going to welcome up to the table our Chief Information Officer, Jesse Hidalgo, and Education External Affairs Unit Manager, Chloe Hackert. Good afternoon.
Of course, I have many things to set up, so.
No problem. And congratulations again on the successful launch of the website. Hopefully both of you can start sleeping again.
Well, it's a good time to have it in advance of the Form 700 deadlines and the election year. So we're really grateful to have this up and ready for the public to use this year. So I'm going to start sharing my screen eventually to show the new website. But first, good afternoon. My name is Chloe Hackert. I am the Education and External Affairs Unit Manager in the Legal Division. With me today is our Chief Information Officer, Jesse Hidalgo. Today we'll be presenting on the exciting launch of our new website. As Chair Silver mentioned, the FPPC officially launched the website on Friday last week. We have been working hard behind the scenes for the past year and more to bring users this new and improved website featuring enhanced search tools to make it easier to locate and review campaign finance and ethics information. This update is part of the FPPC's ongoing work to improve its digital systems and expand public, media, and regulated community access to information about political activity in California. So again, we're very excited to have this launched in advance of this very busy year that we're going to have in 2026. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we will get going to show the new and exciting website. So this is the new FPPC website. And what we have here now is what you will find. We're still at the same location at www.fppc.ca.gov, but some things have been moved around for optimization and better organization. you can still find us here, but we're going to give you a little bit of a tour of our new and exciting updates that we've done. First, we have a new navigation. So a lot of times when we are helping the public navigate our website, whether that be on email advice or phone advice or in our trainings, we really like to ground it with these 7 tabs at the top of the website. So many of these have stayed the same, but we have made some changes to help with optimization of the website. The first is that we have a tab now specifically for filing officers. Originally, they were in the Learn tab, but all their stuff was kind of buried underneath. And as stakeholders, filing officers are one of our largest stakeholder groups who access our website. We move their pages into their own section to streamline their access and house all their pages in one location. So now they can easily get to their duties. If they have questions on guidance and resources related to executing their duties, it's all in one location for them, and including access to what needs for compliance. And then 2, if they have any questions on conflict of interest codes or exemptions or their biennial notices, all of that is housed here as well. So we're trying to streamline everything to make things easily accessible on the website. Another tab I wanted to highlight here today is that we have search filings. This used to be called the Transparency Portal on our former website. Now it is search filings. It provides access to the same filing and disclosure information as before. For instance, our Form 700 search to view Form 700s filed with the Commission is still found here through search filings. Something we'd like to note, though, is that anything that's housed, we're going to use inside baseball terms here, we're in good company, that is housed on a separate server. For instance, our Form 700 search is something that we have on a different platform through our vendor Granicus. That won't be found through our main search through the website, which we'll be demoing later. But how people would get to it is still in the same practice from the old website. So it's still something they know and love, is in the same location. But if they have any questions on how to navigate, we'll also go over who you can contact to help you with that. But we have these exciting updates here with the
Commissioner
Transparency
Wilson?
I have kind of a technical question. I want to ask you the question before I forget what it is. To do a targeted search, do you have to put the phrase in quotes, or by just having the phrase in the search engine, that's good enough?
Yeah, the search does have the normal syntax capabilities of a regular search engine. It's something that should work as you would normally with Google or anything like that. If you put in a word that's not in parentheses, for instance, then it'll search the words as individually, sort of a Boolean or as an and statement, but putting them in quotes should search for the specific term.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be demoing later that this search, we've done a lot of work behind the scenes in the last year to improve. I'll be explaining what these terms mean, taxonomy, and what we use to ground our searches with filters. And it's a much smarter search system, I will tout, than our old website. So if you typed in with a slash or a dash, our old website, which I'll demo later, would sometimes not be able to search it at all. That would cause it to kind of spin out of control or give you way too many things or say nothing comes up. And instead, this website will be able to drill down for what you're looking for. So you don't have to have perfect knowledge of how things are written in our world to be able to find what you're looking for on the new website. And that's a really exciting development that we have. So we'll go over that in detail as well with this
One
presentation.
quick question. So it sounds like the data that's hosted on outside servers that won't be part of the main search that's conducted, like Form 700s. What other popular forms are going to fall into that category? Behested payment reports, those will fall into that category as well. Is there any other popularly searched forms that would fall into that category?
I think it depends on, everything's popular with us, but I think it would depend on what people commonly search. I think Form 700s are definitely one of the highest, especially with the public and the media. Behested payments as well, and that is also a server that we host here. So it won't, if you type in a public official's name and behested payment, unless they have a case, it's not going to come up with a report in our system. But the other thing that is a separate search that I think is very popular is our enforcement complaint and case information portal. And so I'll demo that here as well.
Perfect. Great transition, Ms. Haggard.
You can allow.
It's good to have IT with me up here as I figure out what's possible. So this is another search that we host on a server. So if someone is looking for their they filed a complaint and they're looking for the status of their complaint, they would need to do it in this specific search. It won't be able to find that information in the global search on the website, which we'll be demoing later. So these are the main 3 popular search systems that are on separate servers. And we have buttons. We try to make things possible to make it easy for people to navigate and how to get to them on the website. Additionally, to what we'll be going over later, we made a YouTube video. That was also a joint labor from everyone here to demonstrate how people would get to that and explain our searches. So these are the 3 main ones, but back to search filings where that used to be the transparency portal. If people are interested and want to learn about the filed 801s, 802s, and 807s, this is the page to get you there, and you can click the buttons to get to those searches to see our published forms that we have on the website if they're interested in that data.
And the 801s and 802s, those are for gifts to public agency. And then,
We usually, now with the laws changed, so we mostly post links to other state agencies or local agencies' websites for 802s for their own ticket policies and where they post them. I could have done it from our old website, but we used to have thousands of them posted, but the law has since changed, I think, since around 2016. I think. And so now we post the links instead for 802s, but we do have individual 801s available on our website. And same with 807s, which are the nonprofit organization disclosures. And so we do post those PDFs. Again, those might be searchable if people know what they're searching for, but generally when people are looking and they call us, I usually direct them to these pages so then they can see the historical data of all the ones that we've been posted and have been filed.
great. Thanks for clarifying that.
No problem. Okay, and since we have the long form YouTube video, I'm just going to highlight one more tab for us here, and that is Contact Us. So this is a new tab that we have created for this website. This was not on our prior website. And this is where you can find all the ways to stay connected with us at the FPPC. And so we have our quick links and some commonly used things that people use to contact us, such as filing a California Public Records Act request that is on here. So additionally, something that I like to highlight and I would love for the public to know too is that if you want to stay up to date on everything, get notices about these types of meetings, get notices about our commission agendas, our press releases, we have our mailing lists. And on our old website, the way to navigate to this most frequently was using the toolbar at the very bottom of the page. And so now it's up front and center, it's under Contact Us, and people can join our mailing list by clicking this and then choose which ones they would like to subscribe to. And it makes it a lot easier to be able to stay in touch with us. Additionally, here we have our advice. So that's another thing we found in our stakeholder searches is that people like to know how to contact us to get advice. So this is where this used to be its own tab on the last website. Now it's under Contact Us, and people can find out more information about our formal and informal advice processes through Contact Us. So that's all the new navigation in a quick summary. But really the thing that we put a lot of effort in the last year is working on the new search. So as discussed, a common, I wouldn't want to say complaint, but a common feedback we received from our old website was that our old search was difficult to use and to find information that was exactly what they were looking for. So we really took that feedback to heart and worked on creating a search that would be useful to the public and to users for anyone that's trying to find anything on our website. And so now we have developed this enhanced search where users can filter search results by date, time, subject, and other criteria to find disclosure data and information on educational materials, the law, more easily and effectively. So to navigate to the new search, I went there already, but I'm going to demo it again. You can use this search bar, but I like to click this eye magnifying glass, and then it takes you right there. And as you can see, all of our search results pop up, but you can search in the search bar or drill down by publication type topic, and we'll be going over some of these. To quote our executive director, it's like online shopping for what you're looking for within the Political Reform Act. So if you're looking for something, you can just type it into the search bar, but if you're looking for something specific, then you can go here. This is a little bit different than our past website, and I'll be showing some demonstrations of the differences between our prior website and our current. And so this is the taxonomy where we have created all these tags on the back end. So when we upload documents and we upload stipulations, regulations, press releases, they're going to be tagged with these items. So when people click on these things, they are able to find specifically what they are looking for. So an example, we sent out a press release earlier this week regarding our new website. So you can go find the tag for news press releases under publication type. And this was something I think we got some feedback on as well. That was difficult to find these things. And now they're up in front and center in the search. And so now you can drill down by month or year. I know that this was done in 2026. I click on that, I get the results. And here is our press release for our new redesigned website. And so it's pretty easy to navigate once you go in. You can also put it in the search bar, but that's a demonstration of how to use those advanced filters and searches, which wasn't really an option in our past website. We did have specific searches that we had to kind of use together to find things, but now everything is housed in one location for people to find easily to search, besides those 3 searches we talked about earlier that are housed on separate servers. But I can go into now and show kind of what we used to have to kind of compare and contrast with the old website. So back in the day when we had our old website last Thursday, if you wanted to search the entire website, you had this. And you also had a big area to explain how to use the advanced syntax to find what you were looking for. And on the right here, we'll go over some of these. These are the separate searches. So a lot of these now are housed in the main search, such as our enforcement case resolutions, our advice letters, our commission opinions. All of those things are in one search together now. And so if you wanted to go into to find something specific, sometimes you had to use this fun search, which made it kind of difficult for the public to understand what specifically they needed to type in or look for to find what they were looking for. And now you can just type it into the main search or use those filters to select it instead of making sure you get the agency correct, make sure that you get the search term correct. We really tried to build it for the user in mind to make it easy to find what you were looking for. And sometimes too, we did an example here. If you were, let's say we're looking for the Form 700 from 2018. So we typed that into the search term on the old website. We put the year and you get a bunch of different resources that aren't specifically what you're looking for. It looks like a lot of advice letters and maybe enforcement stipulations. And so our new search is meant to make it much easier to get to what you're specifically looking for. And you can also pick if you're looking for a web page, if you're looking for a document. So if they're looking for specifically for the reference pamphlet, they could pick document, and that will make sure all the pages don't come up in that search for them, which was not an option on our last search. Similarly, a lot of the main searches we got feedback on was for our enforcement cases. So we have searches for our administrative fines and penalties. It's our stipulations approved by the commission. And so this search is now also embedded in our main search on the website. And so if someone wanted to look up a respondent, they could type in their name and see what all shows up, and it might show that they maybe had an advice letter. They also had a stipulation. They had a closure letter, instead of having to type their name into every different search on our old website to find that information. And so here's an example of if you typed in the case number off of an agenda, you might get multiple results that yield, and it may not be the one you're looking for on the last site, because if you put a dash in or a slash, it could sometimes confuse the search results. And our new website has better search understanding to work around that instead of making sure it's typed in correctly. Okay, we're not quite there yet. I'm working, you'd think I'd be better at this after doing all of this now. And so those are some examples of the new search compared to our old one. So administrative fines and penalties is here. And then you can search. Something I would like to highlight that I think is a really big asset to the regulated community, the public, the media, is you can search by violation type. So if you're interested in learning about all the cases that we've had on mass mailings, you can click that here, and then you get all of the targeted results for that. So if you're looking to learn more, there's more ways to do that.
Commissioner Wilson?
And I think it's pretty obvious, but under the prior website, you wouldn't be able to do that kind of targeted search. Is that correct?
You could search by like year, and you could like search by like the name, but like not. And there was things for violation type, but it wouldn't show as easily all the results.
Right.
Sometimes they would get jumbled with other things.
Yeah, that's what I assumed based on your presentation. But thank you for further clarifying that.
Yes, and so that's one of them. And then I also wanted to show too, I came from enforcement, so that was exciting to me from when I used to do intake. That would have helped me back in the day, but something I think is helpful for the public as well, especially going into an election year, They can search by topic. So if it's candidates wanting to learn what they need to kind of look out for, you can click by candidates, and then a bunch of the targeted searches that you would maybe use as a candidate come up, such as our candidate toolkit, campaign reports, really make things easier for them to find what they might need to look for on the website this year. So if they're interested in learning about something, that's what that's there for a topic, to drill down on those specific results. Next thing I'll be highlighting is the YouTube video we made. So on our website, on the homepage, we have underneath all of our exciting news and events and updates. This is a new feature here that makes it really easy for the public to see what's going on this month and what they need to be looking out for with events and trainings and news. But we also have a YouTube video that was a collaborative effort with everyone here. Really appreciate everyone's hard work, and something that we did to make it easy, because I tend to be overly thorough. So this is 18 minutes long. And so we put tabs with timestamps in. So people need to look for something specific. For instance, if they want to learn about all the different tabs and what's housed there, we have it. For instance, on the enforcement tab now, that's where the heat map is. If they want to look at that, that's highlighted in the video. And if they want demonstrations on how to use the search filters, they can click that and it will take you right to that part of the video. And if they want to know how to search for advice letters, same thing. They can click it and it will take you to that jump in the video to learn it. I'm not going to play the video because I feel that the audio will get kind of odd, but it's there for you. It's there for you if you need it. And it's very helpful as a tool, but I can show as well, just so we have it. The old website, we have a video, kind of the old search and how it wasn't as helpful with being able to find those things. So thank you to Mason Lord, our desktop publisher. So here's an example of how you would have to search on our old website. So here's looking for a case, and there's a dash in here. As you can see, it takes nothing. The website wouldn't be able to handle that type of search. And then if you leave out the dash, you may get it, but you're going to get a bunch of other things as well, 7,000 results for it. And then additionally, if you're going to be searching for the 460, if it's not looking for a campaign, it doesn't show, it shows advice letters. And you put in form 460, and then it still isn't going to show you what you're looking for. So this is the feedback we got from the public when they were using it, and really tried with our new website to be able to work around that, to have this advanced taxonomy where people can now, as a publication type, click forms, and then they can find what they're looking for and narrow down within there.
Commissioner Wilson?
So for someone who wants to see the 18-minute video, where will that be posted on the website? Just generally, will it, the specifics are not that important, but will it be easily accessible on the website if somebody were to want to look at that video
Yeah,
a week from now, 2 weeks from now?
Is it on YouTube too?
Yeah.
It's on our YouTube channel, and it's also embedded in the homepage of the website for everyone. So it'll be up for a while, probably at least through the end of this year, to be able to show people how to navigate.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
And I suspect we're going to send links to it in our newsletters and other correspondence with the regulated community. Is that right?
Yes, I've already started some campaigning for our new website. So I know our filing officers and others that get our education newsletter are aware of these happenings, and we'll continue to push this out, especially to folks, as I believe the candidate nomination period is open for people filing their candidate Form 700. So this is helpful to them if they want to navigate the website to find about their duties and things as they fill in their paperwork to be a candidate. We also want to say thank you. So this, as I said, this has been a very long process. And so we have quite a bit of people that help make this project happen. So we had a migration team. We did a lot of the work ourselves here at the agency. So we were very thankful to our vendor, but we did the migration ourselves of the pages and the documents to make sure that all of these advanced searches worked. So this is a thank you to all the migration team that helped with this process. They dedicated 4 hours of their day every day during the migration to make sure that everything came over properly. So we're very grateful to them, and we want to give a shout out to all those people that helped. And additionally, we did 2 all hands tagging days. So we had all staff that was available help 2 days in November on a Monday and a Friday. They all joined a Zoom, we all team bonding, and we worked together to tag and finish the website together. So a big thank you to the whole agency. It's been a really wonderful experience to all pull together to get this to happen. And I think we have a beautiful work product to show from it. And so I'm very grateful to everyone, and I just want to say thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart. It made my job a lot easier to have everyone do this, and I learned a lot. Now I know what taxonomy means. Something else. Let's see. Yes. So feedback is always welcome. And so we're still in the beginning of this website. So if people play around with it, watch that YouTube video, can't find what they're looking for, please send us an email at education@fppc.ca.gov. We're there to answer your questions and help you find what you're looking for. Additionally, the public knows what they're looking, and they might find a bug that we don't see because we don't go there all the time. So if you find any issue, or if you have feedback for us to help us improve our user interface, we are happy to hear it. So please send any comments, questions to the email below at education@fppc.ca.gov. Probably hear from me, but that is there for you if you have any feedback or questions, and we really welcome it because we use that informed feedback to build this new website.
Excellent. On that point, I just want to applaud the approach that IT took, that Education Legal Division took, that everybody took in terms of data-driven approach, data-driven design. We reached out to the regulated community. We did polls to kind of get a feel for what pages they use the most, what improvements they'd like to see. And I think we did a great job responding to that feedback. We also looked at our Google Analytics. We weren't preparing this as kind of a shot in the dark, just throwing a dart at a dartboard with a blindfold on. Every single decision here was based on data. I think that really shows in terms of how intuitive this website is. So excellent job to everybody on that page, especially you, Ms. Hackert, and you, Mr. Hidalgo. It's been a very heavy lift, one that started before I became chair. So thank you, Chair Matich and Commissioner Wilson, for being here when we started this undertaking, identifying the issues that we had with the website. I just think this is so impressive on so many different points. One of them is just the fact that we were able to get all of our staff together, trained up to work on an IT project like this, and it worked, right? We were effective working in a context that we'd never worked in before. Staff was enthusiastic about it. You had the executive director, you had the general counsel, you had the chair of the agency working along with staff to make sure that we got this website out functioning in time for the election year this year. So I'm very proud as chair that this all came together and was launched, and it's very impressive. So thank you, everybody. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, I would just echo this, the comments of the chair. Obviously, this started under, when Chair Matich, but Chair Silver took over the project when we were on second base, maybe going to third, and he's brought it home. So what I found is that all of the team here was open to ideas, even if it wasn't an idea that they necessarily embraced, as opposed to the attitude, well, this is the way we've done it for 10 years and we're not going to change. So I think the open-minded approach, both from head of IT and also from, Ms. Hackert heading this up, provided for a productive finished product. So thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item? Okay, one other person I want to make sure I name here is Davina Vo, our commission assistant, who put hours and hours of time into this project. There's a lot of people who spend a lot of time on this. She's definitely at the top. So thank you, Davina. I understand you're under the weather, so no need to say anything, but thank you again for all your hard work.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank Reiko Vasca. She was the project manager for our team for this project, and so for almost 2 years now, she had been still communicating with our vendors and doing everything from the technical side, and then also Chloe for really doing everything.
It's not me. It's we're just gonna give shout outs. Really big shout out to Mason Lord and Kylie Carson. They worked in hand with Rieko to help get this across the finish line, and so they're the subject matter experts we have on this, and so they will be working with me if we get any feedback from the education inbox to make sure that we're fulfilling the public's needs with that. So thank you to everyone, and again, really it is a team effort. The all hands days. Everyone participated, had a hand in this project. So truly, thank you.
Excellent. And then our vendor, Simsoft, did an excellent job on this website. So thank you, Simsoft, and all our partners over there that worked with us on designing and developing and launching this. Perfect. Well, we don't have any additional public comment. So thank you, Ms. Hackert. Thank you, Mr. Hidalgo. Why don't we move on to our next item? And that's going to be artificial intelligence use policy. Mr. Hidalgo, you can remain at the table, our Chief Information Officer, and also presenting is going to be our General Counsel, Dave Bainbridge, in place of our Executive Director, Galena West, who's feeling under the weather today. Before we delve into this item, there's a few people that I want to thank. I know there's a lot of thank yous, but whenever you have an IT project that's this complex, whether it's the website, AI policy, there's going to be a lot of people to thank. So first, I want to thank our ED Galena West, as well as Mr. Hidalgo, for all the work they put into this policy. It's incredibly thoughtful, and I really appreciate the time that you spent developing this, checking in with stakeholders, looking at best practices. It's an excellent product that you put together. I also want to thank Covered California for the background and support that they've provided us. They're really a trailblazer in public sector AI, as well as the support we receive from GovOps and the Department of Technology. Normally, I don't get too excited over internal use policies, right? But today's item is different. In my view, this represents a significant moment for the FPBC. It marks the first formal step towards responsibly integrating the groundbreaking technology of AI in a way that strengthens our core mission. And that's promoting meaningful transparency, bolstering enforcement, and increasing operational efficiency. In the months ahead, we'll begin implementing tools that will allow us to better serve the public, our staff, and the regulated community. I look forward to sharing more about those initiatives as they develop. And lastly, one point that really bears repeating. Generative AI tools are just that. They're tools. They can increase efficiency and assist with routine, mundane tasks, but they're not a substitute for judgment, expertise, or accountability. They will not replace the talented professionals at this agency. Our staff's experience, expertise, and discretion are irreplaceable. That is in our policy itself. It's in the rules that government agencies have to follow in the state of California in terms of human-in-the-loop requirements. But just given the respect I have for the work product and the ethic that our staff brings to the table, I just thought it was important that I reemphasize that incredibly important point. So with that, I'm going to throw it over to our General Counsel and our Chief Information Officer to present further on this.
Hi, good afternoon. Dave Bainbridge, pinch hitting for Galena West on this one. So any technical questions should be directed to Jesse. I'll give a brief overview of the policy and the impetus for it and what it covers, and then we can have questions and more discussion if there is any. So this is a policy that governs staff's use of generative AI. Back in 2023, the governor issued an executive order to state agencies directing them to consider procurement opportunities where generative artificial intelligence, also called Gen AI, could be used to improve the efficiency, effectiveness, and accessibility of government operations. Since that time, the commission has been exploring how it can build its internal capacity and knowledge to effectively, transparently, and responsibly use Gen AI and Gen AI-based software. The Commission's Generative AI Acceptable Use Policy provides guardrails and expectations that we should keep in mind while we consider the use of Gen AI to improve the Commission's performance of its duties. Gen AI is a branch of AI technology that interacts with user-provided creativity to generate content at the request of the user. The FPBC recognizes that that we can introduce Gen AI into our agency with boundaries and safeguards to ensure its proper use. Gen AI use in the workplace has risks, including unauthorized data sharing, bias, over-reliance, and disclosure of confidential information. This use policy recognizes those risks and provides restrictions and guidelines to ensure transparency and take a judicious approach to implementation. That's the summary of the purpose for the policy. Here are some main points of the policy, and the policy is obviously attached to the agenda. You can read the whole thing if you're interested. The use policy emphasizes that when product is generated using AI, there is a human in the loop that reviews the content and ensures its accuracy. We don't want to produce items just through using Gen AI that aren't touched by humans and reviewed by humans who work here. Information entered into the Gen AI systems can be made public in response to a Public Records Act request, and staff should always keep that in mind when using it. Microsoft Copilot is one tool that has been approved by the state that employees can use as an option, and other options may be available but will require approval from supervisors and IT staff. The FPPC is going to require disclosure, employees disclose to their supervisor when they use Gen AI to complete their work. And for public-facing work, we're going to require that a disclaimer be included on that work to identify that it was created in part using Gen AI. Lastly, the FPPC will provide ongoing training and work groups for staff regarding the use of Gen AI and improving Gen AI usage best practices. Those are the basic main points of our policy. We have a FAQ that we've produced that we're going to be providing to employees as well, with questions about Gen AI generally and the rules for using it here at the agency. And of course, staff can always consult with their supervisor or IT staff if they have questions about Gen AI.
Mr. Hidalgo, anything to add?
I don't have anything, but I'll take questions. If you guys have any
Sure.
questions.
We mentioned, we touched on Microsoft Copilot. So the version of Microsoft Copilot that we're using is a enterprise product, right? So it has some additional security, confidentiality protections, such as not allowing the information that's provided in prompts into the system by a user to be considered in training of the product.
Yeah, that's correct. So part of the policy is to look at the security and the privacy of our staff, and part of that is to not let the main system be trained using our prompts. So basically, the enterprise version, and this goes along with all most of the other major players in Gen AI, but the one that we procured keeps everything in-house essentially. So all of the prompts can be audited later if need be, but they can also they aren't used to further train the public version of Microsoft Copilot.
And that's in contrast to, personal accounts
Correct.
that someone might have with with an AI model like ChatGPT or Google Gemini.
Correct. Yeah. If you use like Bing and then use the Copilot connection, it's using the public version of it.
Okay, that makes sense. I think another point to make here is while this is our policy now, it is of course subject to change. If our use changes in the future, if the nature of AI changes, that's something that we're following very closely and that we're going to consider and make whatever changes to the policy we need to make in order to guarantee responsible use of AI by our agency.
Yeah. This whole thing is new. The executive order came out in, I believe, 2023. And so a lot of us are seeing a lot of changes already since then. Quite a bit of just ideas about it and policy about it and how it's being used. Those are all going to affect how we eventually implement any version of it. And so, yeah, this is a very good first step, but we don't expect it to be the last.
Excellent. Would there be any issue with us, I assume not since it's on the agenda, with us sharing this AI use policy with other agencies who are interested in implementing AI at their agency?
I certainly don't see an issue with that. I think the plan is for it to go before the full commission for approval, probably in March, and then after that, we'll have a final version that will be on our agenda, so we could certainly circulate it publicly.
Great. Commissioner Wilson?
Related follow-up question. But first of all, Council Bainbridge, Thank you for your detailed presentation and for your expertise, Chief Hidalgo. But let me ask you this kind of quick question. I saw that there was reference to the Department of Technology. So can you kind of, it's in some of the materials that were circulated, but could you expand on how you've interfaced, you and the team have interfaced with the Department of Technology and what that could mean for similar projects across other state
Sure.
agencies?
Yeah, the Department of Technology has done a thorough job in approving various versions of Gen AI products, and they've been looking out for quite a lot of the stuff that we've been kind of keeping an eye on as well. But the security and privacy concerns were at the very top of their list. So whenever we have an idea, we basically collaborate with them to have approvals. They give us recommendations on best practices on creating an environment for us to properly use Gen AI. And because it's such a new technology and it is kind of fast changing. The guidance that they give really informed us quite a bit on creating this document, but also how we approached or how we are approaching future implementations of this technology.
So in that vein, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but in your opinion, would that increase or enhance the chances that other state departments, commissions, let's say it's the PUC, for example, Coastal
Sure.
Commission,
Yeah.
that as they incorporate AI into their work product, that there's more likelihood that there'd be uniformity?
Yeah. There's definitely a baseline that Department of Technology is set. We also have an AI community of several representatives from several different agencies that regularly get together about once a month and then throw ideas out. And they also host several events that allow agencies to speak face-to-face with vendors and look at very specific use cases brought up by agencies that vendors can elaborate on and sort of showcase what their products can do. And so I think the state of California has really embraced sort of like this new technology. It really hasn't been, it's a new technology and obviously we can't predict the future, but it's really been a collaborative idea between all of the agencies, but also something that, like, if somebody is doing something new, we get to see it. Chair Silver and I have gone to several public outreach events that various Department of Technologies hosted and the Gen AI community specifically to see what other agencies have been doing to implement this technology in their agency.
Okay. Well, sounds exciting. Sorry I missed
Yeah.
that meeting, but.
Yeah. No, they're great. I think they're a
So
lot.
in that vein, kind of, I really appreciate the overview that you just provided, and I'm raising this more of a question. We have the LA Ethics Commission, San Francisco Ethics Commission. So as a regulated community is going through our website, and, we're incorporating AI and other forms of technology. And this is more of I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but to what extent that, the local ethics commissions either following our lead or considering our lead in terms of how we're addressing this issue. So as someone in the regulated community, let's say a year from now decides, I want to go look up something. And then it's a totally different kind of interface as opposed to a similar kind of framework that whether you're looking at the FPPC or the LA or San Francisco Ethics Commission, for example, or any other local ethics commission, that there's some kind of uniformity based on the leadership that we're providing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we aren't implementing anything public facing. That's one of the things that we're looking at is it's a tool to help our staff work more efficiently. But I know, if you look at product development for like a public company or a private company, they would be more inclined to do that public facing. So you would see an instant like, oh, this is a new tool or something like that. We aren't going to be implementing anything like that, at least not in the foreseeable future. But as far as collaboration and practices, we're definitely not afraid to tell people what we're going to be trying to do.
Yeah, and in fact, we already have a group of, I think at this point, it's about 15 or so different jurisdictions who are working with us on different, basically brainstorming different ways that AI can be used in the ethics space. So we had our first meeting where we had representatives from Hawaii, New York, all over the country who wanted to hear about what we're planning to do here, the results of our first POT meeting where we talked about detecting AI use in campaign ads. We heard from Montana in particular, who has their own public-facing advice agent, where folks in Montana can go to the website for that agency and ask it direct questions about their political law. That's not something that we're proposing to do here. There's a lot of risk associated with public-facing AI that I'm personally not comfortable with at this juncture. But it's great to see what other agencies are doing and then share with them how we're considering using AI and sharing with them how other agencies have used it.
That's very informative. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it. Do we have any public comment? Okay. Then let's move on to item number 5, discussion of items for the next Public Outreach and Technology Committee meeting. Before we move on to that, thank you again, Mr. Hidalgo, Mr. Bainbridge, for your feedback on item number 4. Appreciate
Thank you.
that. So for item number 5, I'm just going to reiterate what I just laid out there. We have projects that we're considering potentially in the pipeline. So those are things that we would like to bring up at future POT meetings so the public can have an idea of what we're considering and see how it works, what we're doing to guarantee safety, privacy, and reliability. So I'm looking forward to having the FPPC roll that out and share it with the public. Excellent. Okay, that I'm going to move to adjourn.
Second?
All right, Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Chair Silver,
Aye.
meeting adjourned.